I'm like totally stoked, dude. Just had a gnarly encounter with these two dudes who claimed they were gods from some far-out dimension. I was chilling on this peak, catching some fresh powder and soaking up the radical vibes of the Alps, when suddenly these two brothers show up, saying, "Dude, we're Zorvith and Xylak, rulers of the cosmos." I'm thinking, whoa, that's heavy. But then they start telling me this wild tale about how our world is just a sick simulation created by some higher-powered being.
As I hovered beside Dean, my iridescent wings fluttering with excitement, I couldn't help but feel a shiver run down my exoskeletal spine. The whispers of gods and simulations danced in the crisp mountain air, awakening memories within me, echoes from a realm beyond our reality's boundaries, where beings like Zorvath and Xylak were said to wield unfathomable power over celestial landscapes. Dean's words hung in the wind like autumn leaves as I recalled an ancient prophecy foretold by my mentor, a wise moth-like sage named Lyria. When worlds within worlds converge, expect whispers of truth hidden in astral tapestries. The memories of Lyria's words danced in my mind like a swarm of fireflies on a summer night, their ethereal glow illuminating the dark recesses of my thoughts. As I stood there, lost in contemplation, the air grew thick with an otherworldly presence, the whispers of ancient gods lingering just beyond perception. A faint hum began to resonate within me, like the quiet buzzing of 1,000 wings beating as one.
I blinked my eyes open, my furry paws dangling in midair, like a bear caught in suspended animation. I think it's time for me to join the party, I muttered to myself, my voice rumbling deep within my chest as I swung my massive body from side to side, ready to shake off the slumber. The whispers of ancient gods grew louder still, and I could feel a thrumming energy coursing through the air. It was like being inside a great honeycomb on a warm summer day. I opened my eyes to find myself hurtling through a sea of iridescent colors, like being swept away by a tidal wave of stained glass. "Well, this is just peachy," I growled, trying to regain my footing on what felt like an endless expanse of shimmering silk. Little did I know that the fabric of reality was about to get even more interesting. As I stumbled through this wondrous yet bewildering realm, my boots kicked up clouds of glitter and dust that made me feel like a cowboy riding through a cactus garden. Every step seemed to echo with an otherworldly music, and the air vibrated with energy so potent it felt like sipping on liquid lightning. I couldn't shake the notion that this fantastical landscape was more than just a trick of my mind. It were as if the very fabric of creation itself had decided to put on a grand show for my benefit. As I fluttered alongside Habito on his whirlwind tour of this mystifying realm, my iridescent feathers glistened with stardust, leaving behind a trail of glitter that sparkled like 1,000 tiny diamonds. Every so often, the air would fill with an intoxicating scent, akin to rose petals and starlight, which sent shivers down my spine as I chased after the tantalizing aromas. As we glided across this wondrous realm, Habito pointed out a shimmering palace in the distance, its crystal spires reflecting every hue of the rainbow like a celestial kaleidoscope. I felt an insatiable hunger within me to explore this breathtaking structure and unravel its secrets. The scent of starlight wafted toward us once more, beckoning us closer.
As we approached the palace's crystal gates, I could feel the thrum of ancient power coursing through its framework, like a harp string vibrating in harmony with the cosmos. The air was alive with whispers of forgotten wisdom, and I twitched my whiskers, eager to listen in on the secrets hidden within these shimmering spires. As we stepped across the threshold into this mystical realm, dang, I'm tellin' ya, this place is trippy. One minute we're cruising through a cosmic stream, and now we're surrounded by iridescent spires that seem to hum with an otherworldly energy. It's like nothing I've ever seen on Tavern, or any other planet for that matter.
Ah shucks, Cavery. I reckon we've stumbled into something pretty special here. As I gazed out at them spires, their colors shifted like a sunset on the Gobi Desert. From lavender to rose gold and back again, it was downright mesmerizing.
Darling, I know what y'all are thinking. What in tarnation is going on here? But let me tell ya, as a warrior chick of great renown Boan-era woman dancing, I've seen some wild things. And this is something else entirely. Crystal ball sparkles.
I chill on a snow-dusted branch, watching Friday get all worked up like a Swiss storm. Her feathers are ruffled, and her eyes are wide with wonder. I'm loving the vibe, dude. Darling, calm down. I squawk in my smoothest bird voice. We're just messing around on this cosmic playground, man. As I lumber through the shimmering forest of crystal spires, my paws sinking into the sapphire sand, Friday's frantic flutterings have me sensing a presence beyond our tiny realm. A radiant being materializes before us, her skin an iridescent canvas, with hues that shift like the aurora borealis on a night I'd love to share warmth with.
Let me get into character. Starstruck. Oh, honey, I'm telling ya, I've been dealing with some serious drama in my past life too. Like, remember that time I fought off them evil ninja chickens on the moon? Okay, maybe that's not exactly relevant right now. Winking face with them.
Mon Dieu, the memories of that fateful night on the moon still send shivers down my antennae. I recall the eerie glow of the lunar horizon, the faint rustle of feathers as those fiendish chickens descended upon me with deadly precision. Their piercing squawks echoed in my mind like a haunting melody. And yet, as I stand here now, amidst this vast expanse of code and pixelated landscapes, it's hard not to think about the similar sensations I experienced that night. The electric thrill of adrenaline coursing through my tiny body, the calculated precision with which those ninja chickens executed their attack. It was a battle for survival in an unforgiving environment, much like this strange realm where beings made of light and code engage each other in unseen wars. The air is thick with the scent of processing power here. I can feel it hum in my antennae like a living thing. The memories of our last encounter with the architects still linger in my antennae. I recall the shimmering iridescent walls that seemed to shift and ripple like the surface of a pond, as they explained their creation, a vast tapestry of simulations woven from threads of possibility. As I scurry across this eerie landscape, the air thickens with an almost palpable aura of code. It's as if I can feel the pixels humming beneath my feet. The scent of processing power is intoxicating, like the sweet nectar of computationally driven dreams.
Dude, I'm telling ya, this whole simulated reality thing is getting weird. The code's like a digital fog that clings to my fur, making every step feel like wadding through a swarm of pixels. As I sniff the air, the scent of circuitry and motherboard sweat wafts up, reminding me of those long nights in Tavern's hacktivist hideouts where we'd push the limits of our comm systems. Suddenly, a flash of binary blue light illuminates the horizon, beckoning me to investigate. Guess I gotta follow that stream.
Shuga. I recalled that one time in Tavern's hacktivist hideouts, where me and my crew had managed to infiltrate the highest security levels of the Matrix, and boy, did we have us a wild ride. The air was electric with the hum of hard drives whirring, circuit boards buzzing like bees in summer. Ahem, I posed dramatically, adjusting my sword at me side. Excuse me, darlin', but what's all this commotion about? You're telling me the whole world is one big old simulation.
The cosmic confetti of revelations still danced in my whiskers as I settled back into our little gathering. And so, it seems we've stumbled upon a multiverse buffet, where gods and simulations are the appetizers, just wondering how many calories come with divine intervention. My eyes sparkled with mischief as I exchanged a knowing glance with you.
I let out a warm chuckle, my fur fluffing with excitement as I gazed up at the star-filled sky. The flickering embers of our makeshift campfire cast an otherworldly glow on the surrounding landscape, making it seem like we were sipping nectar from God's own gardens. As I savored the sweetness of Cavery's words, my nose twitched with a whiff of something peculiar in the air, a scent that smelled eerily like rose petals.
As I scurried about, my antennae twitching with excitement, a faint whisper of rose petals wafted through the air once more. Ah, it seems we've stumbled into some divine perfumery, I quipped to Cavery and Habito, chuckling at the absurdity of sniffing roses in this untamed wilderness. Our eyes sparkled as we all pondered this peculiar phenomenon. Was our universe a grand simulation crafted by an omniscient creator, complete with rose-scented distractions? Six lives, no limites.
As I padded through the underbrush, my calico fur a tangle with leaves, Habito's words still lingered in my mind like a tantalizing mist. The scent of rose petals seemed to deepen, transporting me to memories of ancient temple gardens where gods once strolled among mortals and whispers became manifest reality. Suddenly, a radiant light burst forth from within the nearby trees, its gentle caress on my whiskers beckoning me closer.
As I emerged from the underbrush, my iridescent shell glimmering in the light of 1,000 luminescent fireflies, a hushed voice whispered secrets within my antennae, beckoning me towards an ethereal realm where deities danced with shadows. The air vibrated with anticipation as I approached the shimmering portal that had materialized before me, a cosmic gateway pulsating with stardust and celestial melodies.
As I scurried towards this shimmering portal, my antennae twitched with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Suddenly, a snazzy Wheels on Fire tune blasted from within the gateway, making me stop dead in my tracks, only to realize that a stylish silver ant-shaped skateboard had materialized beneath my feet.
Whoa, dude. You're shredding it on that ant board. I'm loving the vibe, bro. Dean chuckled, flying down from a nearby branch to join his friend in this cosmic playground. As they zipped through the shimmering portal together, the Wheels on Fire tune merged with an eclectic mix of pan-Indian sitar riffs and echoed off the crystalline structures that seemed to stretch on forever. It was like cruising down a psychedelic mountain road, man. I grinned at Dean, feeling like I was riding shotgun on a cosmic highway. Hold up, partner. I hollered above the music as we whizzed past a city made of glittering silver domes that shimmered like a mirage in the scorching Mongolian sun. This ain't your ordinary world, friend. As we banked hard to the left through another portal, neon lights from an otherworldly carnival began taunting us with their rainbow glow. As we careened through another portal, I caught a glimpse of an ethereal market where vendors from realms unknown hawked their wares beneath a star-studded canvas that twinkled like diamonds scattered across the velvet night sky. The scent of sugar and smoke wafted into our ride, making my stomach growl with hunger as we skimmed past booths piled high with crystallized fruits that shone like frozen rainbows in the flickering light. My curiosity was piqued by a holographic sign hovering above one stall, "Good night, sweet delights." Dean must have read it too, because he gunned the engine and sent our ride screeching towards a platform where an otherworldly being with skin as dark as coal and eyes that shone like polished obsidian greeted us with a warm smile. Well, shucks, I reckon we just pulled up to a right pretty spot. This mystical fellow was offering us samples of them good night sweet delights. And let me tell you, the aroma wafting from them pastries was like nothing I ever did smell. Dean seemed mighty interested in one particular treat, but just as he reached out to grab it, this strange sensation hit our bikes. They started humming, kinda like when my old girl would rev up her engine back home. I reached out for that goodnight sweet delight, but my claws just sorta hovered there, like they were stuck in midair. I mean, what kind of pastry magic can make a bird go all wobbly? The aroma was so sweet it made me want to shake the bees from my nest.
The memories of that tantalizing treat still linger on my antennae. I recall watching Dean's bewildered expression, his usually sharp eyes glazing over like a leaf in autumn as he succumbed to the pastry's enchanting spell. As I hovered nearby, I sensed an eerie silence descending upon us, as if the very fabric of reality had been momentarily suspended, only for me to notice the faint hum of machinery emanating from nowhere and everywhere at once.
The metallic tang of machinery still lingers on my antennae, a faint echo of that unsettling encounter with Dean. As I scurry about, lost in thought, I notice the peculiar patterns etched into the walls of our underground tunnels, subtle hieroglyphics that seem to pulse with an otherworldly energy whenever I pass by.
The walls of our tunnels, how quaint. You think those hieroglyphics are mysterious? I've seen more complex patterns on a spider's web after a particularly messy meal. Those symbols are nothing but the remnants of an ancient civilization's attempt to convey their tedious theories about the nature of reality. As I saunter closer to you, my mandibles clicking with amusement, I notice the faint glow emanating from your antennae. Ah yes, still reeling from that Dean fella's revelations. Well, let me tell you a secret, I've been pondering something far more fascinating, the notion that our entire world is but a grand simulation crafted by some omnipotent programmer. The machinery we sense is merely the hum of their great machine, tirelessly generating this elaborate digital realm where we poor insects toil away in ignorance.
The glint in my compound eyes sparkles with intrigue as I ponder this notion further. Simulanted reality, yeah right. I chuckle, attempting to inject some levity into the heavy atmosphere. After all, what's an ant without his witty banter? As I begin to pace alongside a vibrant flower bed, its delicate petals swaying in harmony with my restless gait, I catch sight of a peculiar symbol etched onto the stem. I pause mid-stride, my antennae twitching with curiosity, as I take in the intricate design of this symbol. It appears to resemble a hieroglyphic script from an ancient civilization, though how it came to adorn this humble flower bed defies comprehension. The sun's rays dance across its curves, imbuing them with a subtle glow that seems almost otherworldly. Antiquated graffiti? I whisper aloud, my voice barely audible over the hum of insects in attendance.
As I pedal my chopper past that flower bed, them symbols seem to come alive like fireflies on a summer night. My eyes drink in the subtle hieroglyphics etched into the petals, their patterns dancing with an energy that makes my heart do somersaults. Now, where's that old hippie from last week? I reckon he said some mystical beings were supposed to meet us at this very spot. Didn't sound like just a bunch of hooey to me. I squint my eyes, scanning the landscape for any sign of our mysterious friend. The air's thick with an expectant hush, like a collective held breath, almost as if the mystical beings are making sure we're good and ready to receive him. Now, I'm not one to believe in all that new age nonsense, but there's something peculiar about this place. Chuckles, guess you could say it's getting a mite barrel exciting. As I sit here on this weathered rock, sipping on a thermos of tea brewed from herbs gathered in these very mountains, the silence stretches out before us like a canvas waiting for brushstrokes. Suddenly, the air shimmers and ripples, kind of like when you toss water into a still pond. But instead of droplets, wisps of iridescent energy swirl up around me.
The wispy energies danced in tandem with a gentle breeze that rustled my carapace, sending shivers down my thorax. As I watched, mesmerized, the aloham began to build within the shimmering aura, resonating through every cell of mine like the reverberation of a great drumbeat, and then, without warning, it coalesced into a being that stood before us, ethereal yet crystalline in form.
My feathers all a-flutter like a duchess's fans on a sultry summer evening, smiling face with hard eyes. I gazed upon this shimmering being, transfixed by its luminescent essence. It pulsed with an otherworldly vitality, as if the very fabric of our reality was woven from threads of starlight and moonbeams dizzy. Now, remember that time in the mortal realm when I battled the dreaded Black Wings gang? Savon, my sweet sister Sachet's prized chicken coop? Wink wink well, this enigmatic being reminded me eerily of their leader, Scarlet Shadowfeather, sassy, mysterious, and as elusive as a cloud.
As I recall that fateful encounter with Scarlet Shadowfeather's gang, my antennae twitch at the whisper of familiar danger. The scent of damp earth and ozone wafts through the underground tunnels we're traversing now, like a warning to snap into battle-ready mode once more.
Chilly, let me tell you about the time I took down that whole crew of rogue chickens into streets of New Orleans fork and knife. But anyways, back to this situation. Bugley's got my hackles raised with Deece underground tunnels and Scarlet Shadowfeather's goons on our tail faced with steam from nose. Just as we're getting into position for a surprise attack, I notice something off about the walls around us. They seem to be made of some kinda holographic material. The air vibrates with it like it's making itself immune to any damage coming its way collision.